and left me. He offered me the house like he was being generous. Said we could split things cleanly, move on like adults, be fair.
I almost laughed because Marcus had spent more than a year quietly moving money behind my back.
And I was the woman who built the books he thought he was outsmarting. He just didn't know I had already started paying attention. And he definitely didn't know who I was about to call.
My name is Danielle, 32 years old, and for 6 years I built a marriage and a business with a man who believed charm could cover anything.
Marcus and I met at a networking event when we were both still pretending.
More successful than we actually were, he was polished, quick, funny in a practiced way. The kind of man who could walk into a room full of strangers and leave with 3 business cards and a dinner invitation. I knew exactly what he was. I just thought he loved me more than he loved being admired. That was my mistake. We married 2 years later. A year after that, we started a consulting firm out of our spare bedroom.
When I say together, I mean I built the systems and Marcus performed confidence on top of them.
He brought in clients. I made sure we could survive them. He did lunches, I did payroll, he made promises, I made sure we could keep them. By year 4, the company was billing just over $2 million annually.
And Marcus had started saying my company so casually you almost missed it. I didn't correct him every time.
That was another mistake. 8 months after we launched, I hired Kevin Marsh as outside counsel. We needed a contract lawyer who could grow with us. Kevin had also been my closest friend since our sophomore year of college. Marcus knew that in the beginning. But men like Marcus have a habit of rewriting history in ways that flatter them. Over time, Kevin stopped being my oldest friend in Marcus's mind and became simply the company lawyer. That mattered later, a lot. For the first 5 years, our marriage looked solid from the outside. Not perfect. Marcus liked attention too much.
He liked being the smartest person in the room, even when he wasn't. But I loved him. And when you love someone, you get very good at translating them.
You tell yourself ego is not cruelty, distance is not betrayal, selfishness is just stress in a nice suit. Then the small things started. Later nights at the office, his phone angled away slightly, not hidden exactly, just turned enough. A brightness about him on certain mornings that had absolutely nothing to do with me.
I noticed all of it. I said nothing. Because there is a phase before the truth where you know something is wrong, but you are still negotiating with yourself.
You tell yourself you need proof. You tell yourself not to be dramatic. You tell yourself marriage goes through seasons. Then one Tuesday in March, Marcus came home at 7:44 p.m. and sat across from me at the kitchen table and told me he had developed feelings for someone else. Not cheated, developed feelings.
Like this had simply happened to him. Like he was reporting weather. He said he had been unhappy for a while, that we had grown apart. He used that phrase 3 times in under 5 minutes.
Muffled, indistinct male speech.
Like repetition could turn an excuse into a reason.
Her name was Simone. She worked in business development for one of their clients.
And then he did something so unnecessary I almost admired it. He mentioned she was 29. I had not asked. Apparently, youth itself was supposed to be an argument. Then he said he wanted to be fair, that I could keep the house, that we could split things cleanly, fair. I looked at him across that kitchen table and thought about 6 years, about the spare bedroom and the laptop.
About fixing payroll errors at midnight, about every contract and every system and every invisible thing I had built, while he smiled across dinners and acted like that was the hard part, and he said fair.
I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I got very calm. I told him I appreciated his honesty and needed a few days to process everything. He looked relieved, actually relieved, like he had been bracing for chaos and was thrilled to be handed dignity instead. He had absolutely no idea who he was sitting across from.
The next morning, I waited until he left for work. Then I called Kevin. He picked up on the second ring.
I need you, I said, not as company counsel, as my friend.
A pause. Then, what did he do?
I told him everything. Kevin listened without interrupting once. When I finished, he asked one question.
How much access do you still have?
Everything I said. I built the system.
Okay, don't move anything. Don't confront him. Give me 48 hours. At hour 29, Kevin called back. His voice was careful. Danielle, I found something. I need another day.
What kind of something?
The kind that says, this didn't start with Simone.
He was right. By the end of day 2, Kevin had mapped 14 months of quiet financial maneuvering. A secondary account Marcus had opened without telling me. A shell vendor set up to route payments through expenses that looked completely ordinary unless you already knew where to look. A bonus structure Marcus had adjusted twice in 1 year to make his distributions cleaner and mine easier to reduce at settlement.
Nothing flashy, nothing obvious, just the patient, careful work of a man planning his exit while still sleeping in my bed. That was the moment it stopped being about another woman hurt. This was something colder. This was planning. Men like Marcus always think boring equals invisible. They forget boring is exactly where women like me live. In details, in systems, in the quiet places where everything real is held together.
Marcus served me divorce papers on a Friday morning. Kevin filed our response by 3 p.m. the same day. Marcus called me at 6:17 p.m.
Who is representing you?
Kevin Marsh, I said.
Silence. Not long, just long enough. Kevin works for the company, he said carefully. Kevin works with the company, I said.
He was my friend before you even had a desk in our spare room.
You just forgot that? He hung up. The next 3 months were ugly. His attorney tried everything, challenged Kevin's access, framed the hidden money as routine restructuring, suggested I was acting out because I couldn't accept the end of my marriage. That part almost made me laugh. As if betrayal makes women irrational and men strategic by default. Kevin anticipated every move. One night, around 11 p.m., he called me while I was sitting on the bathroom floor. Not because I was being dramatic, because I was exhausted, because there is a particular kind of humiliation in realizing the man you loved had been planning your reduction while kissing you goodnight.
He's gonna push for mediation fast. He knows the longer this goes, the worse discovery gets for him.
I can do this, I said.
I know, Kevin said, but you don't have to enjoy it.
That mattered more than he probably knew. Simone called once. She sounded shaky, not smug, just scared. I didn't know about the money, she said. Interesting that she said money before marriage. I believe you, I told her.
She was quiet for a moment. Then, did he always make everything sound so reasonable?
That hit harder than I expected. Yes, I said. That's what he's best at. He told me the marriage was over long before it was, she whispered. He told me it was intact while he was draining it, I said. That was the end of our conversation. I didn't hate her. She was just standing in a different part of the same trap.
The final settlement came on a Wednesday morning in October. I got the house, my full equity stake, a majority share of the business assets, a cash adjustment reflecting every dollar Marcus thought he could quietly peel away without consequence. He kept his car, his personal accounts, and whatever remained of the story he had been telling Simone. She lasted 8 months after the settlement finalized. Marcus without money is a very different man, less charming, more obvious. She left on a Thursday. He called me that weekend. I was sitting on the back porch, reviewing a contract for a new client my firm had just signed. My firm, my name on the door, my signature at the bottom. When his name lit up my phone, I turned it face down and kept reading.
That was the first clean feeling I had in months. Not revenge, not celebration, relief. He thought I was the soft part, the patient part, the one who would sign quickly and accept whatever terms he handed down because heartbreak had made me too tired to fight.
He forgot something simple. I built the machine. I knew where every wire ran.
And I knew exactly who to call when he tried to cut me out of something my own hands had made. First I got organized, then I got honest, then I got everything that was mine. So let me ask you something before you go. Has anyone in your life ever mistaken your silence for weakness? Tell me in the comments, because sometimes the calmest person in the room is just the one who already knows exactly where to strike. Drop a comment. Has anyone ever mistaken your silence for weakness?